In a shimmering banquet hall nestled in the heart of Chicago's glittering downtown, the air was alive with the clinking of crystal wine glasses and the sharp, self-assured laughter of former classmates gathered for their 5-year high school reunion. The room, bathed in the warm glow of ornate chandeliers, was a stage for the privileged, its crisp, white tablecloths and polished silverware reflecting the wealth and status of those who had always walked life's smoother paths. At the center of their calculated attention stood Marcus Reed, a black man whose quiet presence seemed an anomaly amidst the sea of tailored suits and designer dresses. Once branded the class loser for his worn clothes and reserved nature, Marcus had been invited not out of nostalgia, but as a target for rekindled cruelty, a chance for his former tormentors to revel in their perceived superiority. Their whispers carried the sting of old taunts, their eyes glinting with the thrill of anticipated humiliation, rooted in racial and social prejudices that had festered since their school days. But as Marcus stepped into the soft light, his bespoke suit catching the chandelier's gleam, his posture radiating an unshakable calm, the room seemed to hold its breath. The air grew heavy with an unspoken truth, a secret so profound that it would freeze their smug smiles, leaving the hall stunned and the story of Marcus's rise echoing far beyond the night, a testament to resilience over prejudice. Marcus Reed, now 23, had grown up in Chicago's South Side, where crumbling sidewalks and faded murals told stories of resilience amid systemic neglect. His childhood was shaped by the weight of poverty and racial prejudice, where opportunities were scarce and dreams were often deferred. His mother, Lena, a single parent and night shift nurse, worked grueling hours at a local hospital, her hands calloused from years of service, her heart fueled by a fierce determination to give Marcus a better life. Their small apartment, with its peeling paint and second-hand furniture, was a sanctuary of love, filled with Lena's stories of civil rights heroes and her insistence that education could break the chains of circumstance. Marcus's brilliance earned him a scholarship to Sterling Academy, an elite private high school in Chicago's affluent North Shore, where ivy-covered walls and manicured lawns stood in stark contrast to his neighborhood. But Sterling was a world of exclusion. His classmates, mostly white and wealthy, saw his second-hand clothes, scuffed sneakers, and quiet demeanor as markers of inferiority. Led by Ethan Caldwell, a charismatic football star with a penchant for cruelty, they dubbed Marcus the class loser, their taunts laced with racial slurs that cut deeper than he let on. They stole his books, hid his assignments, and mocked his job at a grocery store, where he stocked shelves to help Lena pay bills. Teachers, complicit in their silence, often overlooked Marcus, their biases assuming his potential was limited, grading him harsher than his peers. 5 years later, the reunion at the Grand Lakefront Hotel was orchestrated by Ethan, now an investment banker, and his clique, who thrived on rehashing their high school dominance. The invitation to Marcus was a trap, a chance to parade their success, Ethan's corner office, others' Ivy League degrees, while ridiculing his presumed failure. Chicago itself was a city of contrasts, its gleaming skyscrapers towering over neglected neighborhoods like Marcus's, where gentrification pushed out families, while protests against racial injustice filled the streets. Unbeknownst to his classmates, Marcus had transformed. From his college dorm, he had built a tech empire, an AI-driven logistics platform that revolutionized delivery for small businesses, amassing a $100 million fortune. Yet, he remained unassuming, his wealth hidden behind a modest lifestyle, his heart still tied to his roots. The stage was set for a collision of past prejudice and present triumph, drawing viewers into a narrative of injustice, resilience, and the quiet power of an underdog poised to upend expectations. Chicago's summer heat pressed against the city like a heavy hand, mirroring the simmering tensions of a metropolis wrestling with its racial and economic divides. Protests against discriminatory hiring practices and police brutality pulsed through downtown, their chants echoing off glass towers, a constant reminder of the systemic barriers Marcus had navigated since childhood. At Sterling Academy, those barriers had been personal. Ethan and his clique had targeted Marcus relentlessly, tripping him in hallways, spreading rumors that he cheated on tests, and scrawling slurs on his locker. One incident stood out. During a school talent show, they sabotaged his presentation. On coding, unplugging his projector to laughter from the crowd, leaving Marcus humiliated but resolute. Teachers, bound by their own biases, dismissed his complaints, suggesting he toughen up, or implying he didn't belong. Lena, hearing these stories, would hold him close, her words a shield. They can't take your mind, Marcus. That's your power. Post-graduation, Marcus enrolled at a state university, his scholarship covering tuition but not the weight of isolation. While classmates partied, he coded late into the night, driven by Lena's sacrifices and a vision to create something meaningful. His logistics platform, SwiftPath, was born from a dorm room laptop, its algorithms optimizing delivery routes for small businesses struggling against corporate giants. By his senior year, SwiftPath had attracted venture capital, its success driven by Marcus's knack for solving real-world problems. His company employed hundreds, prioritizing hires from marginalized communities, a quiet rebellion against the systems that had tried to hold him back. Yet Marcus kept his achievements private, living in a modest apartment near his mother, his wealth a secret even to his closest allies. The reunion invitation arrived via email, its tone dripping with condescension. "Catch up with old friends, Marcus. Bet you've got stories to share." Ethan's signature was a taunt, a reminder of past cruelties. Marcus saw through the ploy but accepted, sensing an opportunity, not for revenge, but to confront the past. He arrived at the Grand Lakefront Hotel, its opulent banquet hall a stark contrast to his childhood home. The room buzzed with privilege, Ethan in a tailored suit, flanked by classmates now lawyers, consultants, and influencers, their laughter sharp with entitlement. They recounted high school glories, their stories glossing over the pain they inflicted. Marcus, in a bespoke suit that belied his humble demeanor, stood quietly, his calm unsettling them. As the night progressed, Ethan's clique circled Marcus, their banter laced with mockery. They asked about his grocery store job, expecting him to shrink as he once did. But Marcus's posture remained steady, his eyes sharp with a confidence they couldn't place. Chicago's unrest seeped into the narrative. News of a protest blocking Michigan Avenue played on a muted TV in the corner, its images of raised fists mirroring Marcus's inner resolve. He carried a tablet in his bag, loaded with evidence of his empire, patents, a Forbes feature, and a photo of his diverse team. The organizers planned a slideshow of memorable moments, many highlighting Marcus's humiliations, designed to cement their narrative of his failure. As the slides loomed, the room's laughter grew uneasy. Marcus's presence, a quiet force, disrupted their script. Ethan pushed further, unaware he was stepping into a moment that would unravel their arrogance, building tension as Marcus's hidden truth neared its reveal. The narrative delves deeper into Marcus's past, painting vivid scenes of his struggles, nights studying by a flickering lamp, Lena's weary smile as she returned from shifts, the sting of classmates' taunts. It contrasts with Ethan's privileged upbringing, private tutors, family connections, and a safety net Marcus never had. The city's backdrop amplifies the stakes, gentrification displacing families, corporate boards sidelining black talent, protests demanding change. Marcus's company, SwiftPath, becomes a symbol of resistance, its success a quiet defiance of systemic racism. The tension escalates as Marcus navigates the reunion, each smirk from Ethan a reminder of past wounds, each drawing him closer to a moment of reckoning that will expose the cost of prejudice and the power of resilience. The banquet hall's chandeliers cast a golden glow across the polished floors, their light dancing on the faces of the reunion crowd as the slideshow flickered to life on a massive screen. Images of high school flashed by, prom nights, football, games, and then, deliberately, moments of Marcus's humiliation, his torn backpack sprawled on a hallway floor, his solitary figure at a lunch table, the sabotaged talent show. Ethan stood, raising a glass for a mocking toast, his words dripping with condescension, painting Marcus as the eternal loser. The crowd's laughter was a blade, sharp and familiar, cutting into the wounds of Marcus's past. But as Ethan spoke, Marcus rose, his movements slow and deliberate, his tailored suit catching the light like armor. The room fell silent, the air thick with anticipation, as Marcus pulled a sleek tablet from his bag. Its screen glowed with the logo of SwiftPath, his $100 million tech empire. He swiped through images, a gleaming Silicon Valley office, his diverse team of engineers, headlines praising his innovation, a Forbes cover naming him a rising star. Under 30. Ethan's smirk vanished, his glass trembling in his hand as the crowd's chuckles turned to gasps. Marcus's calm gaze swept the room, meeting stunned eyes with quiet strength. No words were needed. His presence, backed by undeniable proof, was a silent rebuke to their prejudice. The moment crystallized years of injustice, racial taunts, systemic barriers, and Marcus's relentless resilience into a revelation that shattered the room's smug hierarchy. The weight of his success, hidden until now, froze Ethan and his clique, their arrogance crumbling under the truth of Marcus's triumph, marking a turning point where past cruelty met the undeniable power of a man who had risen above it all. The silence in the banquet hall lingered, a heavy curtain drawn over the remnants of laughter. Marcus, without a trace of malice, stepped back, letting the images on his tablet speak. The crowd's stunned faces reflected a mix of shame and awe, their assumptions shattered by the reality of his success. Ethan, his confidence deflated, sank into his seat, the weight of his misjudgment palpable. Marcus's journey unfolded in their minds, not a boast, but a challenge to their world view. He had turned pain into power, building SwiftPath to uplift communities like his own, hiring those overlooked by corporate gatekeepers, funding tech programs for youth in Chicago's South Side. His mother, Lena, had taught him to rise above hate, and now her lessons stood embodied in his quiet strength. Marcus left the reunion, but his impact rippled outward. He expanded SwiftPath's outreach, funding scholarships for Black students and partnering with nonprofits to combat workplace discrimination. Chicago's media caught wind, articles hailing him as a beacon of change, his story inspiring local businesses to rethink their practices. Ethan, humbled, reached out months later, his apology. Awkward but sincere, a step toward reckoning with his past. The banquet hall, once a stage for cruelty, became a symbol of transformation, its memory etched in the minds of those who witnessed Marcus's revelation. Marcus's old neighborhood saw change, too. SwiftPath's community center offered coding classes, its walls adorned with murals inspired by Lena's stories. Lena herself, now retired, volunteered there, her pride in Marcus a quiet fire. The city's protests, once background noise, gained a new ally in Marcus who used his platform to advocate for systemic reform. His story spread beyond Chicago, sparking conversations about prejudice and potential, stunning audiences with its message. A single act of resilience can rewrite a narrative of injustice. This tale asks, what if one person's triumph could challenge the biases we hold? Reflect on your own world. Where can you defy judgment to uplift another? Share your story to inspire a future where no one is underestimated, where every loser has a chance to shine.